He held his breath. He had no idea why he was suddenly so frightened. If he was caught, it would only mean more punishment, more of Rachel's hard looks and peppery remarks. Why then did he feel like a rabbit scented by hounds? For the moment, it seemed that whoever it was would continue up the ladder to the large room above, until the steady creaking stopped. The silence sang in Simon's ears. Simon realized with a heavy feeling in his stomach that the noises were coming back down. The unseen figure stepped off the ladder onto the floor of the closet, and again there was silence. But this time the very stillness seemed to throb. The slow tread moved closer down the slender aisle until it halted directly across from Simon's hastily chosen hiding place. In the dim light, he could see pointed black boots, almost close enough to touch. Above hung the black-trimmed hem of a scarlet robe. It was Priorites. Simon crouched back among the dry goods and prayed that Aidan would stop his heart, which seemed to be beating like thunder. He felt his gaze drawn upward against his will until he stared out between the sagging shoulders of the sacks that hid him. Through the narrow gap, he could see the alchemist's bleak face. For a moment it seemed Priorites looked right at him, and he nearly squealed in terror. An instant later he saw it was not so. The Red Priest's shadow-shrouded eyes were focused on the wall above Simon's head. He was listening.
Come out.
Priorites' lips had not moved, but Simon heard the voice as plainly as if it had whispered in his ear.
Come out. Now.
Simon found himself ashamed at his conduct. There was nothing to fear. It was childish foolishness to crouch here in the dark when he could stand up and reveal himself, admit the little joke he had played. But still...
Where are you? Show yourself.
Just as the calm voice in his ear had finally convinced him that nothing would be simpler than to stand and speak, he was reaching for the sacks to help himself up. Priorites' black eyes swept for a scant moment across the dark crack through which Simon peered, and the glancing touch killed any thought of rising as a sudden frost shrivels a rose blossom. Priorites' gaze touched Simon's hidden eyes, and a door opened in the boy's heart. The shadow of destruction filled that doorway. This was death. Simon knew it. He felt the cold crumble of grave soil beneath his scraping fingers, the weight of dark, moist earth in his mouth and eyes. There were no more words now, no dispassionate voice in his head, only a pull, an untouchable something that was dragging him forward by fractions of inches. A worm of ice clasped itself around his heart as he fought. This was death waiting. His death. If he made a sound, the merest tremble or gasp, he would never see the sun again. He shut his eyes so tightly that his temples ached. He locked teeth and tongue against the straining need for breath. The silence hissed and pounded. The pull strengthened. Simon felt as though he was sinking slowly down into the crushing depths of the sea. Suddenly, the intangible throttling grip was gone. Simon's eyes popped open in time to see a sleek grey shape skitter past, leap over Priorites' boots and streak to the hatchway where it bounded down into darkness.
A cat.
Finally, the black boots turned away and moved back up the aisle. He continued to sit rigidly, his breathing shallow, all of his senses alarmed. Chill sweat was running into his eyes, but he did not lift his hand to wipe it away. Not yet.